8? Larissa, do you think that gives enough time for more finance?
I don't think it gives enough time for legal posting. I heard Jennifer say 10 days. If you guys sign it on October 1st, that would, like I said, the Board of Finance Committee meets on Monday, the 28th. We make our recommendations that night. You guys sign it on the 1st. What I heard Jennifer say was that she needs 10 days from that point. That puts you at October 12th, which I heard Ted say, that's tax week. I don't like tax week, which is why I suggested the 22nd of October.
What's the 22nd work for you, Jennifer? What's that?
22nd works a lot better than the 8th or 15th. I mean,
Okay.
there's no way.
Okay, that's what I want to hear then. Because,
It's up to you guys. I mean, it's, you know, I told you once that we are inundated with
Oh,
work,
no,
so
that's
if you're
why
gonna put it on tax day.
That's why I want to stretch this, is give you as much time as possible, so. The 20, what's that, the 22nd?
Yes.
Does that work, or do you want to push it another week?
No, the 22nd is fine. Are you intending on having this, the other question was, about having it at the school because of the zoning questions, and this is going to be on there, so we need to, do you intend on having it at the school? We've got 2 zoning questions, we've got solid waste, we've got the fire and rescue ordinance.
Yeah, we probably should.
So if that's the case, do we want to stick with a Thursday? I mean, that's going to interfere with our regular work, so should we do it on a Tuesday?
What do we usually do, what time do we get down here, it's always Tuesday.
Well, elections are generally held on Tuesday, that can be any night that you wish. We just have to make sure that A, the school's available, and B, that we still have our regular, office time.
The 20th? Does that work for you?
Sure. Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we set the town meeting for October 20th.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
At the
school. Acton Elementary School.
Second. All in favor? And do we need to date that we're gonna sign, so when we finance the month?
Yeah, you definitely need to put something in place, so the public hearing's the 17th, Larissa's got a good point that you guys aren't meeting again as a board until the 24th, so you can't discuss it again, you can't discuss any changes that you will or won't accept from that public hearing, and based on...
We can discuss them after the public hearing that night, because they're working on it as we go along, and we have members on the board, so Selectmen can discuss it that night after that public hearing. Because we'll be aware of the changes before then.
So should staff be prepared to, should we be prepared to take instruction from you that evening in regards to any and all changes?
I'd like to wait until they have their meeting and see how many changes there
Yeah,
are.
definitely.
Because I don't know how many there are. I know Peter said that there was quite a few things that they wanted to add.
Well, there's quite a few things that the new member wants to add, so it doesn't mean that they're all going to be added. So.
Oh, okay.
And solid waste, you're gonna take recommendations on that, but you're not taking recommendations on the zoning.
Which some,
Well, on the, Little Red Schoolhouse and the 4.226.
I think 4.226 is pretty much cast in stone, isn't it?
You guys,
well, it is, because it was voted on by over 600 people, so, and then they told us that all we have to do is figure out which one they want to keep, and that's what we're doing by 4.2.6.
okay. So what deadline are you setting? So we're gonna get these ordinances, it sounds like, to the Warren and Finance by the 18th, Larissa, if all goes well. It doesn't sound like there's gonna be a lot of changes grammatically, so I should be able to get them to you the next day, right? There's not a lot of changes. So 18th or 21st, because the board's willing to stay and just get them done that night. So with that said, on the 21st, when you want to sign it on October 1st, so we would need their recommendations by when?
Well, we just picked the date, so just go the legal limit from the date that we picked to be at the Acton Schoolhouse.
Right, you've got the 20th.
Right, so we can sign it on what, the 8th, the 1st, the 8th, or the 15th, right?
No. You could sign it on the 8th if you wanted
Okay,
to.
so we can sign it on the 1st or the 8th.
But you just said you wanted to pick a date so you could tell Warren and Finance
Right.
when to have theirs by.
Right.
So what is that date for Warren and
Let's
Finance?
use the 8th.
Give it as much time as possible. Okay. Mr. Poynt, you wanted to talk to us?
No, he didn't. He didn't ask to be on here. He
Oh.
sent an email that I thought you would want to discuss.
I'm here in case there's any need to discuss anything. If there's no need to discuss anything, then I'm here just to gaze at the walls.
Okay. All right then. Electronic fees?
So we're not looking at this?
Oh.
Ted, I mean, this is, I mean, I sense that you're frustrated, and I get that. But when the board doesn't meet all week, I mean, my job is to put all this on there together. Okay, you seem to be. I mean, I still don't have a date for Warren Finance that you want them to vote and get it back to the clerk by what date? I know you're gonna sign it on the 8th, but does that
So
mean they have until the
they have-
7th?
Yeah, well, they have to have it done before that.
Right,
It's a
so
motion,
that-
not me.
Well, he made a motion on when the town meeting is. So what I need is a date that Warren Finance, I don't want Warren Finance sending me recommendations at 5:30 on, at 4:30, and no offense, we're gonna pretend they're not here, at 4:30, a half hour before the meeting, and I have to type them into the warrant, so
Well, what night of the week did I need it?
I need a deadline for them.
Jennifer, I will assure you that you will have our recommendations by Tuesday morning, October, whatever that date.
Tuesday, September
No,
30th. October 6th.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Some of the staff, moving on to the electronic fees, some of the staff wants to know if you want to consider putting fees in place for electronic requests. You guys have a policy that charges for copies. What's happening is, if somebody wants a copy of a file, they have to come in person and pay 50 cents each. So what's happening is they're saying, email me the file. There's no cost, you have nothing in place that prohibits that. It appears to be straining or causing extra work. Somebody on the lake might come in and say, I want every property owner on Fox's Ridge Road, instead of printing it off and copying it, they're just saying, email it to me. So
Can we make it just not available by email?
you are the board of selectmen.
I
you
mean,
can
that
do
kind of
whatever you
takes
so choose.
the care of it. Because other than that, how are you gonna charge for electronic? I mean, you'd have someone come in and pay, if they're gonna still come in and pay, they can look it up.
Yeah, they have to come in and fill out
Yeah,
a request anyways, yeah.
Not for something like that, you fill out a freedom of information for that, for just every day, if they want a copy of a property that they're getting ready to buy, they want to look at the septic plan or something, they're not filling out a freedom of information for just a septic plan. Is it should they be?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm doing my job right.
I think I just say it's not available by electronic means.
So no information is available electronically, is that what I'm hearing?
What other information do you have?
I mean, it could be anything from a tax bill to property cards to,
The property cards you can get online, tax bills you can get online. So,
any code enforcement records, so nothing, we're just gonna stop doing it electronically, is that what I understand?
Yeah, is that what's happening downstairs? They're doing all kinds, like a whole folder of somebody's, yeah, okay, yeah, definitely, they have to come in and pay for that.
something like this, a loophole.
Because we don't have all of that on
We have
electronic
most-
anyways, right?
We do, honestly.
Wow, it's right online.
The actual folders?
No, like anything that, building permits are all online, septics are all online, anything that we have, we've tried to scan and put as much as we can.
That's what
on
I'm
the assessing.
asking, because if somebody comes in and you don't have it up already, then you have to scan it all in, so definitely, I would agree with that. So we have to change the policy.
The policy doesn't address electronic
So
stuff at all.
we just add it in and have to vote on it.
I can make an amendment for you to review next week.
Henry Mills Dam, we saw that.
That's Bill, you want to talk about it?
Bill?
That's lots of dollars. I don't know if you read that or not, but
No, I just got it from the guy.
this is a thing that probably has to be used for emergency funds.
Our own, or is this part of the group?
From the group will have to do it. But it's, the dam is in very, very bad shape. And there's a lot of money that's got to be spent, quickly. We're supporting the people that, do the inspection.
Yeah.
I think we'll know, I think we'll know more about
So
that.
this is the first one that came, that's the first one that came, and then this followed up the next day.
done before we get to the group. All right, so,
and this is, just a heads up.
you
They
guys
haven't
haven't,
come back to us yet.
you haven't met as a group to discuss this yet, okay, all right, we'll wait until you do that.
Yeah, it's still very preliminary.
Girl Scout request?
We have paper in your packet from the Girl Scouts looking to use the downstairs room Tuesdays, Thursdays. From October to June.
Haven't they always used it?
They haven't met, Girl Scouts haven't met in a long time.
Oh, okay, but they
So
used it
they're looking to
before.
be exempt from all of the fees, and they would need to get a set of keys. Is that something that?
I have no problem with it, as long as it,
Ready to request the rental of the basement room or whatever appropriate room is available for the use of the Girl Scout meeting running through 15-16 year. Meetings are the Acton Browning Troop 2254, which is mostly third graders from Acton Elementary. Looking to hold meetings on the first and third Tuesday, 5:45 to 7:15, starting October 6th, ending June 7th. The girls and leaders are covered for insurance as part of their annual troop membership.
Tuesday and what?
First and third Tuesday.
Oh, okay, so it's only twice a month. All right. I'm okay with it, anybody else?
Yeah, it's fine with me, bro.
Motion?
Make a motion, we okay the Girl Scouts using the downstairs room, what is it, first and third Tuesday of the month?
Correct.
Sorry.
Rent free? Second that?
Yes.
Rent free?
Yeah, rent free.
Is it rent free?
Okay.
Rent free.
Yeah.
All in favor? Transfer station is closed Monday, September 7th. Public hearing September 17th, for fire, rescue, transfer station, and zoning. Do you have anything else?
Yes, sir. I didn't put public comment on there, and I wasn't sure if I was.
Anybody have any public comment?
You went by it a little quickly, and this might not be pertinent, but I was here requesting information on the dam, why it's dropping the level of the lake so much. I mean, we've gone down between 12 and 14 inches already. And that usually doesn't happen until the dam is let out in the end of September.
I noticed Salmon Falls River is way down lower than it usually is too, so my pond is down, because once that goes down, it sucks out my pond, because I'm uphill from there. So, I don't know,
This question comes up every year, but now, especially with this inspection of the dam, we have a situation where there's no way that water's going to be able to be raised.
I mean, the dam isn't working properly at this point to go up.
But, I mean, the gates are going to have to be replaced, they're not functioning properly. There are all kinds of leaks in the dam. The dam actually is it's an earthen dam, it's just rock facing. And a lot of the clay or backfill and everything has been washed away. At least according to this report, there's been very, very sparse work or inspection of that dam, and it's in very bad shape. And there's no way it can be raised.
Is it going to continue to drop? At this point?
That's, the state is coming back to this. They want the group of Sanford, Mousom, I think Squares in there because it flows into Mousom. That this group has to come together and try and figure out where the money's going to come from.
And when is that meeting going to happen with the state?
It's got to come from Sanford, and they have to contact us and let us know what they want to do.
This information only came to us today, so.
It does say that the purpose of the meeting would be to facilitate the formation of a committee that would be responsible for the safe operation and maintenance of the Emery Mills Dam, including its repair. So I know when we formed this group, do we have somebody from Lumsden that's on the committee?
Oh, yeah.
There's two from Mosen.
Two from
One
Hudson.
from Shapley side, one from the Acton side.
Two from Acton.
And same with the square,
If you'd
so.
be interested, once it gets going, we've been putting money into it for what, 3 years now, or 4 years?
3 years.
3 years. Once it gets going, they're looking for members for a committee, would you be interested?
Sure.
Just let Jennifer know, and then we'll see what the committee is. They may, where there's already a committee, which is part Acton, part Shapley, and part Stanford, and then we have people from Shapley that are citizens that live on the lake, and people from Acton that are citizens that live on the lake. But if we're looking for more people, we're glad to push it. And we'll put everything we get out on the website and on, on the cable TV when we have some information.
Thank you.
Sure. All right.
Hi, Larissa Crockett, and today I'm here wearing my Warrant Finance Committee Chair hat. A couple of weeks ago, our committee met and we had some questions that we wanted to run through MMA. And I understand and respect, as I was on the board when we implemented this policy, that MMA can only be accessed through the select board. And then we sent our questions forwarded to our liaison, because at the meeting prior, when I was watching the tape, my understanding was that that was the proper protocol for us to do. And we received feedback that our questions were not being forwarded through. So tonight, I'm here to yet again request that these questions go through. We do not think that they've already been answered by the legal documents that we have seen. And we feel that in order to make good recommendations and in order to be able to defend those recommendations at the town meeting, we need to have the answers that we're looking for. And it's possible that they have been answered and we have not seen the legal documents that answer them. And so that would be, I guess the request is one or the other. We would either like to have the questions directed to MMA, or we would like to see the legal documentation that the board has, the select board has received that answers the questions that we have posed. So as a reminder of the questions, the first one is that the Warrant Finance Committee disagrees with the chair of the select board that we must only vote ought to pass or ought not to pass. Main Moderator's Manual gives the option of wording involving the word table or in pass over, and we would like to have a Maine Municipal feedback on the legal wording of that motion. So that's the first question. The second is, and I haven't seen this, written from one of the attorneys. I understand that it's implicit, it's implied by them telling you to go ahead with the warrant, but all members of the Warrant Finance Committee are disturbed by the idea that voting citizens can be forced to vote yes. And as much as on the proposed town meeting going forward, because of the structure of the article that we have seen to be recommending on is structured so that if we vote no on the first question, the second question is automatically passed. If we vote yes on the first question, then the second question is automatically negated. The problem, as the committee sees it, is forcing a yes vote. And I understand that it is an attempt to respect the 330 and 334 people that voted on Articles 2 and Article 3 on the June 9th referendum ballot. But we just would like to hear from an attorney that that is actually legal to do, because it seems completely contrary to the democratic values that we all assume we have. But oftentimes we are incorrect about what our actual constitutional rights are and what we just wish they were. So we just would like to see that. And then the main DEP memo dated July 31st, that the last paragraph we feel says pretty darn clearly, both of the articles that were voted on in June do not meet state minimums. And the select board proposal doesn't meet state minimums because it does not include the words shoreline zone, and it is not possible in the state of Maine to build a structure, especially a 1,500 square foot footprint structure, within a resource protected shoreline zone. Okay, so right off the bat, that version, the Maine DEP has said absolutely that's not going to happen. And even the planning board version looks like it's not going to fly and pass muster either, possibly because it does not allow for the state minimum guidelines protecting 10-acre wetlands or more. Maine DEP says, I wish to also note that the provisions submitted as adopted by the town on June 9th are inconsistent with state minimum shoreline zoning requirements. As such, the town should change the provision to be consistent with state requirements prior to vote at a future town meeting, if its intent is to apply the provision within the shoreline zone. So, again, we asked first we tried asking, is it possible for the select board, knowing that these two proposals will not pass with the Maine DEP, to simply amend them enough so that they would pass with the DEP? Not erase them, not prohibit the people from having an opportunity to enact one of the measures into the zoning, but to simply make them legally correct. We were given feedback that no, that was not going to happen. And so our final question is that, given that the select board knows that the questions that they are posing to the voters are not legally acceptable to the Maine DEP, does that in fact bring up a question of acting in good faith? Because in June, I think that it was good faith. No one knew in June that those were not going to pass Maine DEP standards. And the land use attorney did not catch the fact that they did not meet minimum state guidelines. But now that we know that, and now that we have feedback from the Maine DEP about it, we are wondering if it is in fact not in good faith to put them forward. So those are the three questions that we would like to have answered. Again, if they have been answered and we simply haven't seen the documentation, we're happy to have that documentation and to work from that. If they have not been answered, we would respectfully request that they be forwarded to an attorney at MMA.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anything else? A motion.
Move that we adjourn.
Can we address some of our questions first? Why don't we just ship the stuff up there and then have a look at it? What Hams are gonna do?
Because we already sent it to MMA, and MMA told us that if we didn't believe our own lawyers, that we should fire it. So we've already been through this with the planning board. It's the same thing over again. And our attorneys wrote up the articles.
Yep.
Right? So we have all the information, we can pass it on. If they haven't gotten all the letters, we can pass it on to them. Their job is to say yes or no, when they agree with us. We have a warrant that we were told to do by our attorneys and the state. Okay? And as far as the question about the zoning being written wrong, that's only because we actually had a vote on it, then it goes to DEP. You cannot go to DEP ahead of time. And we know that we will have to go back to the town floor again after they decide which one they want. But to go to the town floor now and change everything around again, we have to have more public hearings, and we were told to get rid of one of them by our attorneys.
Oh yeah, I know we were told to get rid of one or the other.
And that's what we're doing. Okay?
With all due respect, if the attorneys that we trusted to put a stamp on the zoning that has now been proven to be incorrect were not able to catch something that seems should have been obvious, are they attorneys that we in fact wish to trust moving forward?
All right, thank you very much. Motion?
Move that we adjourn.
Second? All in favor?